Are you living the life you chose, or the life that was chosen for you? What if everything you believe to be true is a carefully constructed illusion? The answer to those questions could determine not only your destiny, but the fate of humanity. We're trapped in a time loop, a cycle of societal programming perpetuated by hidden forces that want to keep humanity enslaved. This isn't just some abstract philosophical concept, but a real-world system that dictates your beliefs, your relationships, and even your financial situation. Escaping this loop isn't just about personal liberation, it's about contributing to a massive shift in collective consciousness that can lead to a more empowered and fulfilling future for everyone. Failing to awaken from this loop means repeating the same mistakes, perpetuating suffering, and remaining trapped in limiting beliefs, generation after generation. The information we're about to reveal will challenge your deepest held beliefs about reality, identity, and the very nature of power itself. This time loop manifests as repeating patterns in history, personal relationships, and belief systems. Think about it. Do economic crashes seem to happen with alarming regularity? Do political ideologies swing back and forth like a pendulum? These aren't just random occurrences, they're symptoms of a deeper cycle at play. And it's not just on a societal level. Have you ever noticed yourself attracting the same types of partners or struggling with the same financial problems over and over again? These are all echoes of the time loop, reverberating through your individual life. We're going to explore these patterns in much greater detail, showing you how to recognize them and, more importantly, how to break free. But where does this cycle come from? Who or what is perpetuating it? The answers, surprisingly, may lie hidden within what we're calling the KGB archives. Now, we're not necessarily talking about literal documents locked away in some Russian vault. Instead, think of these archives as a metaphor for suppressed knowledge, hidden truths about the nature of reality and human potential that have been deliberately obscured for centuries. They are keys to unlocking your true freedom. Imagine ancient texts interwoven with esoteric symbols, holding clues to powers you never knew you possessed. These archives contain the secrets to understanding the time loop and escaping its grasp. Our perception of reality is not what it seems. From the moment we are born, we are bombarded with programming from our families, schools, the media, and countless other sources, conditioning us to accept a limited view of the world. Like the prisoners in Plato's allegory of the cave, we see only shadows on the wall, mistaking them for reality. But what if we could break free from those chains and see the world as it truly is? The time loop isn't a literal loop in space-time, but a cycle of limiting beliefs, behaviors, and societal conditioning. It's more accurately described as a timeline or a rut that we keep falling into. Think of it like a hamster wheel. Individuals are constantly running, expending energy, but ultimately not getting anywhere. Accessing inner wisdom, those metaphorical KGB archives, requires self-reflection, introspection, and a willingness to question everything you've ever been told. It demands a relentless pursuit of truth, regardless of how uncomfortable or unsettling it may be. Practices like meditation and mindfulness can be powerful tools for this inward journey, helping you to quiet the noise of the outside world and connect with your own inner guidance. By observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you can begin to identify the patterns that are keeping you trapped in the loop. This is a process of constant reevaluation, a willingness to discard old beliefs and embrace new perspectives. One of the most insidious aspects of the time loop is the cyclical nature of societal programming. Advertising techniques, media narratives, and even educational biases are all designed to shape your beliefs and behaviors, often in ways you don't even realize. By understanding how these forces operate, you can begin to break free from their influence and reclaim your own mind. Recognizing these repeating patterns is the first step towards dismantling them. So if reality is an illusion, who is the illusionist? Are you truly free, or are you a puppet on strings you cannot see? What secrets do the KGB archives hold, And how can they help us escape the time loop? What recurring patterns are playing out in your own relationships, career choices, and financial situation? And what role do concepts like manifestation, quantum physics, and alternative timelines play in all of this? Get ready, because the answers to these questions are about to challenge everything you think you know. But how exactly does this time loop operate? It's not a simple, linear sequence of events, but rather a complex, multi-layered system that functions on the individual, societal, and even potentially cosmic levels. Yet, all are interwoven. Think of it like this. The individual level, your personal beliefs, habits, and relationships acts as a microcosm of the larger societal patterns, mirroring and reinforcing them. A person trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage in relationships, for example, isn't just experiencing a personal problem. They're actually mirroring and perpetuating larger societal patterns of conflict, distrust, and the fear of intimacy. How many times have you seen this play out, not just in your own life, but in the lives of those around you? This cycle echoes outwards, influencing the collective consciousness and strengthening the loop's hold on everyone. The societal level is where institutions like the media, education system, and government come into play. They act as gatekeepers, carefully curating information and shaping narratives to maintain the status quo. This isn't necessarily about malice or conspiracy, but rather about the inherent need of these systems to perpetuate themselves. Consider how media narratives often normalize violence and conflict, subtly conditioning us to accept these things as inevitable aspects of human nature. Or how educational systems often discourage critical thinking, rewarding rote memorization over genuine understanding and questioning. This constant bombardment of programming reinforces the loop, making it difficult to see beyond the accepted norms. What other subtle influences are shaping your reality without your conscious awareness? Within this intricate time loop are what we might call nodal points, crucial moments, decisions, or events that significantly influence the loop's trajectory. The looming end-of-month date is one such point. These nodal points can be larger-scale events, like a major election or a technological breakthrough, or they can be deeply personal, like a major crisis or a moment of profound insight. Each nodal point presents a choice, a fork in the road that can either perpetuate the loop or offer an opportunity to break free. The question becomes, are you prepared to recognize these points when they arise and to make conscious choices that align with your true values and desires? Now, let's delve deeper into this idea of the KGB archives. As mentioned earlier, we're not necessarily talking about dusty files hidden away in some secret vault. Instead, think of these archives as a vast, ever-expanding repository of inner wisdom, intuition, and suppressed knowledge that exists within each and every one of us. It's the part of you that knows more than you think you do, the part that can see through the illusion and recognize the truth. Ancient spiritual texts, esoteric teachings, even your own dreams can be seen as fragments of this archive, offering glimpses into a deeper understanding of reality. These forgotten sources are not relics of the past, but still carry the secrets to changing your future. And this archive isn't static. It's constantly being updated as individuals awaken, access new levels of understanding, and share their insights with the world. Whistleblowers who expose corruption, independent researchers who challenge conventional wisdom, and conscious creators who offer alternative perspectives, all of these individuals are contributing to the collective archive, adding new pieces to the puzzle and helping others to see the bigger picture. They risk ridicule and social ostracization to bring forth new perspectives. What role can you play in expanding this archive of truth? The end-of-the-month date represents a significant nodal point, an opportunity to leverage the knowledge contained within the KGB archives, both the inner and the collective, to alter your destiny and shift onto a more empowered timeline. Various prophecies and spiritual traditions speak of a major shift in consciousness, a turning point in human history. The end of the month is a catalyst to trigger the change we seek. The archives hold clues, insights, and strategies for navigating this shift, for making conscious choices that align with your highest potential. But the information is useless unless it is acted upon, and the time to act is now. To truly break free from the time loop, you must begin by recognizing the patterns that are playing out in your own life. What repeating themes do you notice in your relationships? Do you consistently attract the same types of partners or struggle with similar conflicts? What about your career choices? Do you find yourself stuck in dead-end jobs or constantly sabotaging your own success? What about your financial situation? Are you trapped in a cycle of debt and scarcity, no matter how hard you work? And what about your belief systems? Are you clinging to limiting beliefs that are holding you back from living a more fulfilling life? Take some time for introspection. Grab a journal and start exploring your personal history. What recurring themes and triggers do you notice? What patterns seem to keep repeating themselves, no matter how hard you try to break free? These patterns are not random. They are echoes of the larger societal and cosmic loops playing out in your individual life. Someone with a pattern of attracting narcissistic partners, for example, might be reflecting larger societal patterns of power imbalance and exploitation, or even karmic patterns from past lives. Do you see these larger reflections in your personal struggles? Acknowledging these patterns is the first, crucial step towards breaking free. The end of the month isn't just some arbitrary deadline. It's a powerful opportunity to draw a line in the sand, to declare that you are no longer willing to be a puppet of the past. Stories abound of individuals who have successfully broken free from destructive cycles by acknowledging their patterns, taking responsibility for their choices, and consciously creating new pathways for themselves. The key is to not let the end of the month pass you by. The deadline is there as a catalyst to create the freedom that you desire. But breaking free requires more than just recognizing patterns. It requires a fundamental shift in your understanding of reality itself. Reality is not fixed, it's not predetermined, and it's not outside of your control. Quantum physics has shown us that the observer plays an active role in shaping reality. The double-slit experiment, for example, demonstrates that the very act of observing a quantum particle can change its behavior. This suggests that our thoughts, beliefs, and actions have a direct impact on the reality we experience. This is where the power of manifestation, visualization, and intention setting comes into play. These tools allow you to consciously create alternative timelines, to shift from a reality of limitation and suffering to a reality of abundance, joy, and fulfillment. Imagine that ideal future, the life you truly desire. Feel the emotions associated with it, visualize the details, and hold that intention firmly in your mind. By doing so, you are actively shaping the quantum field, attracting the circumstances and opportunities that will bring your vision into reality. What steps can you take today to align your thoughts and actions with your desired future? This leads us to the concept of timeline, jumping the possibility of consciously shifting from one timeline to another by changing your vibrational frequency and belief systems. Think of it like changing radio stations. Each station represents a different timeline, a different version of reality. By tuning your frequency to match the station you desire, you can effectively jump to that timeline. The end of the month serves as a collective timeline choice point. Are you going to tune into fear, division, and limitation, or are you going to tune into love, unity, and abundance? Ultimately, escaping the time loop comes down to consciousness and free will. The loop is not a deterministic fate, but a pattern that can be broken through conscious awareness and intentional action. It requires you to wake up from your slumber, to recognize that you are not simply a passive recipient of reality, but an active co-creator. Contrast the experience of someone sleepwalking through life, blindly following the herd, with that of someone making conscious choices aligned with their values, pursuing their passions, and creating a life that is truly their own. The difference is profound. Taking responsibility for your own thoughts, beliefs, and actions is paramount. Practice mindfulness and self-observation to become more aware of your own internal states, your own biases, and your own triggers. Question your assumptions, challenge your beliefs, and be willing to discard anything that no longer serves you. The more you cultivate this level of self-awareness, the more you will be able to break free from the unconscious patterns that are keeping you trapped in the loop. The world you dream of is waiting for you, and the more individuals awaken and exercise their free will, the more the collective consciousness shifts, creating a ripple effect throughout the entire timeline. Acts of kindness, compassion, creativity, and resistance can all contribute to a more positive and harmonious world. Your individual awakening is not just a personal journey. It's a vital contribution to the collective evolution of humanity. As you raise your own vibration, you are helping to raise the vibration of the entire planet. But what are the implications of remaining trapped in the time loop? What are the potential consequences of failing to awaken and take action? The picture is not pretty. Repeating historical mistakes, perpetuating suffering, and remaining enslaved to limiting beliefs are just some of the potential outcomes. Imagine a dystopian future where societal stagnation and unconsciousness have led to environmental collapse, economic inequality, and political tyranny. This is not some far-off fantasy. It's a very real possibility if we continue down the current path. The end of the month represents a critical juncture point. It's a moment of reckoning, a time to choose between perpetuating the old paradigms and creating something new. If enough people remain asleep, if enough people continue to blindly follow the programming, the consequences could be dire. But if enough people awaken, if enough people take responsibility for their own lives and contribute to a more conscious world, the possibilities are limitless. We have the power to create a future of abundance, peace, and harmony, a future where all beings can thrive. Contrast this with the exciting possibilities of breaking free and creating a more empowered and fulfilling future. Individuals and communities successfully break free from limiting cycles, create positive change, and inspire others to do the same. These stories are not just feel-good anecdotes. They are proof that another world is possible. A world where human potential is unleashed, where creativity flourishes, and where love and compassion prevail. But there's a darker side to this story, a hidden element that we need to address. The truth is, there are forces at play who benefit from humanity remaining trapped in the time loop. We could call them the controllers, those who seek to maintain their power and wealth by manipulating and exploiting the masses. This is where we loop back to the KGB files. These controllers may take the form of corporations, governments, secret societies, or even interdimensional entities. Regardless of their specific form, their goal is the same: to keep humanity enslaved to limiting beliefs and unconscious patterns. They achieve this through a variety of tactics, including media manipulation, propaganda, economic exploitation, and psychological warfare. The KGB files, therefore, represent evidence of the tactics used by these controlling powers. Analyze specific examples of propaganda and misinformation campaigns and their impact on public opinion. From manufactured consent for wars to the promotion of consumerism and materialism, these tactics are designed to keep you distracted, divided, and compliant. The more you understand these tactics, the more resistant you will become to their influence. Develop critical thinking skills, question authority, seek out alternative sources of information, and trust your own intuition. Knowledge is power, and by arming yourself with the truth, you can become a force for change in the world. So, how do we access these KGB archives of counter-programming and begin dismantling the limiting beliefs that hold us captive? The good news is, the information is all around us, often hiding in plain sight. It's not about uncovering some secret cabal, but about developing the discernment to see through the illusions that are constantly being projected onto us. Consider the media, for example. News outlets, social media platforms, and entertainment industries all shape our perceptions of reality, often reinforcing narratives that serve the interests of the controllers. But within this noise, there are also voices of dissent, independent journalists, and alternative media outlets that offer different perspectives. Deconstructing media narratives involves questioning everything you see and hear, identifying the underlying biases, and seeking out multiple sources of information. Learn to recognize logical fallacies, common errors in reasoning that are used to manipulate and deceive. Understand how emotional appeals, fear-mongering, and character attacks are used to sway public opinion. By becoming a critical consumer of information, you can immunize yourself against propaganda and begin to see the world with greater clarity. There are countless websites that are dedicated to exposing logical fallacies. Learn to identify the subtle ways these fallacies are employed to manipulate public opinion, from the straw man argument to the ad hominem attack. But counter-programming isn't just about intellectual analysis. It's also about reprogramming your subconscious mind, the part of you that operates on autopilot, running the same limiting beliefs and behavioral patterns over and over again. This is where techniques like affirmations, visualization, shadow work, and emotional release come into play. These aren't just New Age woo-woo, they are powerful tools for reshaping your inner landscape and creating a new reality. Let's take affirmations, for example. Most people use affirmations in a superficial way, simply repeating positive statements without truly believing them. But to be truly effective, affirmations must be carefully crafted to challenge your core limiting beliefs. Identify the negative thoughts and beliefs that are holding you back. For example, if you struggle with feelings of unworthiness, your limiting belief might be, "I am not good enough." Now, create an affirmation that directly challenges this belief. "I am worthy of love, success, and happiness." But don't just repeat this affirmation mindlessly. Feel the emotion behind it. Visualize yourself living as if it were true. Repeat the affirmation with conviction and intention multiple times a day. The real key is emotional investment. If you intellectually understand you are worthy of love, but do not feel it, the affirmation will be empty. If you look in the mirror while stating this affirmation, will your eyes match your intention? Actively seeking out alternative perspectives is a crucial element in breaking free. Your assumptions can be your greatest prison. Challenge your assumptions about everything: history, science, spirituality, even your own identity. Don't be afraid to question authority and to think for yourself. This doesn't mean blindly rejecting everything you've been taught, but rather approaching information with a healthy dose of skepticism and a willingness to consider different possibilities. A great place to start is to examine the books you read or the documentaries you watch. Are you exposing yourself to a diverse range of viewpoints, or are you simply reinforcing your existing beliefs? Challenge yourself to read books or watch documentaries that challenge your perspectives, even if they make you uncomfortable. The goal is to expand your understanding and to develop a more nuanced view of reality. Now, let's move on to rewriting your personal timeline through intentional manifestation. The end of the month is rapidly approaching. We must act now. What do you desire? What kind of reality do you want to create for yourself? Timeline jumping is not about escaping reality, but about consciously creating the reality that you want to experience. It requires focused intention, congruent action, and a deep understanding of the principles of manifestation. Setting clear intentions is the first step. Be specific about what you want to create. Don't just say, "I want to be happy." Instead, define what happiness means to you. What does it look like? How does it feel? What are the specific circumstances that would bring you joy? Then, create a vivid vision of your desired future. Visualize yourself living as if you've already achieved your goals. Feel the emotions associated with it. Engage all of your senses. See it, hear it, smell it, taste it, and touch it. The more real it feels to you, the more likely it is to manifest in your reality. Creating a vision board can be a powerful tool for solidifying your intentions and keeping them top of mind. Gather images, words, and symbols that represent your desired future and create a collage that inspires you. Look at your vision board every day and visualize yourself living that reality. However, visualization alone is not enough. You must also align your actions with your vision. This means taking concrete steps towards your goals, even if they seem small or insignificant at first. Every action you take sends a signal to the universe, reinforcing your intention and attracting the circumstances and opportunities that will help you manifest your desired timeline. Do you wish to change careers? Take steps to pursue education. Do you wish to improve your health? Then change your diet. Do you wish to change your personal relationships? Take steps to improve your communication. The power of manifestation is amplified when you achieve a state of emotional coherence, an alignment of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. This means that your mind, heart, and body are all working in harmony, focused on the same intention. Emotional coherence creates a powerful energetic field that attracts synchronicities, opportunities, and positive outcomes. Gratitude, compassion, and joy are powerful tools for creating emotional coherence. Take time each day to appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small they may seem. Practice compassion towards yourself and others, recognizing that everyone is doing the best they can. Cultivate joy by engaging in activities that bring you pleasure and make you feel alive. If you are grateful for the good in your life, you will attract even more good. But even with clear intentions, vivid visualizations, and congruent actions, your desired timeline may still be blocked by limiting beliefs and past traumas. These unresolved issues create energetic blockages that prevent you from manifesting your full potential. This is where the importance of self-love comes into play. Self-love is not selfish or narcissistic. It's about recognizing your inherent worth and treating yourself with kindness, compassion, and respect. It's about accepting yourself, flaws and all, and knowing that you are worthy of love, happiness, and success. There are numerous resources and techniques available for healing emotional wounds and releasing negative thought patterns. Seek out therapists, counselors, or energy healers who can help you process past traumas and release limiting beliefs. Practice mindfulness and self-compassion to become more aware of your internal states and to develop a more loving relationship with yourself. Remember, you cannot create a new timeline if you are still clinging to the baggage of the past. You cannot build a new foundation on a cracked frame. Now, let's turn to the shadow side of timeline jumping. What happens if you jump to a timeline that is not aligned with your sole purpose? What are the dangers of using manifestation techniques for selfish or manipulative purposes? The truth is, timeline jumping is not a free pass to create whatever you want, regardless of the consequences. It requires ethical considerations, spiritual awareness, and a deep understanding of the laws of cause and effect. Jumping to a timeline that is not aligned with your sole purpose can lead to dissatisfaction, emptiness, and a sense of being lost, even if you achieve external success. For example, someone who jumps to a timeline where they are wealthy and famous, but have sacrificed their values and relationships in the process, may find themselves feeling unfulfilled and isolated. This is because true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with your authentic self and contributing to the greater good. It is better to be a poor man in alignment than a rich man without alignment. Using manifestation techniques for selfish or manipulative purposes can also backfire, leading to negative karmic consequences. Attempting to control others or create a reality that is not in alignment with the well-being of all can create energetic imbalances that ultimately harm you. Imagine someone who uses manifestation techniques to manipulate a romantic partner into staying in a relationship against their will. This may create temporary satisfaction, but it will ultimately lead to resentment, distrust, and unhappiness for both parties. Are you willing to risk that? Before attempting to jump timelines, ask yourself, is this timeline truly in alignment with my soul's purpose and the well-being of others? If the answer is no, then reconsider your intentions and realign them with the highest good of all. Do not jump timelines with greed in your heart. Jump timelines with love in your heart. So how do we navigate these different timelines and identify the most aligned path? How do we discern between authentic guidance and egoic desires? The key is to cultivate discernment and awareness, to develop your intuition, and to trust your inner guidance system. This involves honing your ability to recognize synchronicities, to interpret your dreams, and to listen to the subtle whispers of your heart. Synchronicities are meaningful coincidences that occur when you are on the right path. They are signals from the universe, confirming that you are aligned with your soul purpose and that you are moving in the right direction. Pay attention to these synchronicities and allow them to guide you. Someone seeking a new job, for example, might repeatedly encounter opportunities related to a specific company or industry. This could be a synchronicity, indicating that this is the path they should pursue. Timeline bleed-through is another phenomenon to be aware of. This is the merging of different timelines, leading to confusion, disorientation, and a sense of unreality. It can manifest as déjà vu, vivid dreams, or a feeling that you are living in multiple realities simultaneously. When experiencing timeline bleed-through, it's important to ground yourself in the present moment. Focus on your breath, connect with nature, and engage in activities that bring you back to your body. This will help you to stabilize your energy field and to maintain a clear connection to your inner guidance system. Timeline bleed-through is often a sign that you are sensitive to the energies around you, and you need to do more to control your mental state. Ultimately, navigating timeline realities comes down to maintaining a strong sense of self and grounding in the present moment, regardless of which timeline you are experiencing. This means knowing who you are, what you value, and what you stand for. It means cultivating inner peace, resilience, and a deep connection to your inner source of wisdom. The more grounded and centered you are, the more easily you will be able to navigate the complexities of timeline jumping and to create a life that is truly aligned with your soul purpose. As the end of the month approaches, remember that this is not just an individual journey. It's a collective choice point, a time when humanity has the opportunity to shift to a more positive timeline. This deadline is less a fixed point in time, but rather a trigger to initiate personal change. We are not simply waiting for something to happen on that date. We are actively creating the shift through our thoughts, feelings, and actions. The power of collective intention is immense. When a group of people come together with a shared vision and focused intention, they can amplify their energy and influence reality in profound ways. Participate in group meditations, visualization exercises, or other collective activities that promote positive change. The more people who awaken and take action, the more powerful the collective shift will be. Start with yourself and start sharing your thoughts, actions, and beliefs with others. The stronger the collective intention becomes, the greater our power to shift timelines. The end of the month is not the end, but the beginning. It's a catalyst for ongoing personal and collective evolution. It's a transition from one stage of growth to another, with new challenges and opportunities ahead. Embrace the journey, trust your intuition, and never stop learning, growing, and evolving. And remember, the KGB archives are not just dusty files from the past. They are a living testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity, to break free from limitations, and to create a more conscious and fulfilling reality. The future is not something that happens to us. It's something we create together. Let's delve deeper now. The controllers, those who seek to maintain the time loop, use symbolism and subliminal messaging as key tools to manipulate the masses and maintain their grip on our reality. These messages are pervasive, subtly influencing our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without us even realizing it. So, how do we become aware of these hidden influences and shield ourselves from their effects? Consider the symbols that saturate our media, advertising, and architecture. Many of these symbols have ancient roots and carry hidden meanings that are far from innocent. The all-seeing eye, for instance, is a common symbol that appears in corporate logos, government buildings, and even on our currency. While often interpreted as a symbol of divine awareness, it can also represent surveillance, control, and the watchful eye of the elite. Similarly, Certain geometric shapes, such as pyramids and pentagrams, can carry esoteric meanings that are used to subtly influence our subconscious minds. Take a look at advertising. You'll notice these patterns in almost every ad. The colors chosen, the arrangement of items, and even the music are chosen to bypass your conscious thoughts and push you toward buying something. It's worth examining the logos of major corporations to understand their symbolism. Fast food chains, for example, often use colors like red and yellow, which are known to stimulate appetite and create a sense of urgency. Think of these symbols as triggers, designed to elicit specific responses from your subconscious. By becoming aware of these symbols and their hidden meanings, you can begin to neutralize their effects. Reverse speech analysis is another powerful tool for decoding subliminal messages. This technique involves recording audio and playing it backward to reveal hidden messages embedded within the forward speech. While it may sound like something out of a conspiracy thriller, studies have shown that our brains do process reversed speech, even if we aren't consciously aware of it. Imagine a politician giving a speech. By revering the audio, you might uncover hidden messages that contradict their stated intentions or reveal their true agenda. This method is useful to identify the true hidden meaning, but should be taken with a grain of salt. While not always accurate, it's an interesting tool to keep in your arsenal. To shield yourself from subliminal influence, you must develop critical media literacy and a defensive mindset. This means questioning everything you see and hear, seeking out multiple sources of information, and trusting your intuition. There are also specific tools and resources you can use to block subliminal messages. Ad blockers, for example, can prevent you from being exposed to targeted advertising and other forms of online manipulation. You can also use noise-canceling headphones to block out distracting sounds and create a more peaceful and focused environment. Furthermore, limiting your exposure to mainstream media and seeking out alternative sources of information can help you to break free from the echo chamber of societal programming. Be skeptical, be informed, be vigilant. Now, let's shift our focus to the architecture of control, the complex web of power structures that perpetuate the time loop. These structures range from corporations and governments to secret societies and shadow organizations, all working in concert to maintain their control over information, resources, and human behavior. How are these seemingly disparate entities connected? Mapping out the connections between these power structures can be a daunting task, but it's essential for understanding how the time loop operates. Consider the relationships between major corporations, government agencies, and think tanks. Often, these entities are staffed by the same individuals who move seamlessly between the public and private sectors, blurring the lines between corporate interests and government policy. The revolving door phenomenon, where government officials leave their positions to work for lobbying firms or corporations, is a prime example of this. These individuals use their knowledge and connections to influence legislation and regulations in ways that benefit their former employers, perpetuating a system of corruption and control. These relationships are carefully cultivated to solidify power. The timeline is maintained because money is power, and it's all carefully orchestrated. These power structures use a variety of methods to control information, resources, and human behavior. Corporate lobbying, for example, allows corporations to influence government policy in ways that benefit their bottom line, often at the expense of public health and environmental protection. Government surveillance programs, such as those exposed by Edward Snowden, allow authorities to monitor our communications, track our movements, and gather data on our personal lives. And social engineering techniques, such as propaganda and misinformation campaigns, are used to manipulate public opinion and control our perceptions of reality. This is all carefully planned and designed to maintain the status quo. Decentralization, transparency, and accountability are key principles for dismantling these power structures and breaking free from the time loop. Shifting focus to localized control and community-based initiatives can empower individuals and communities to take control of their own lives and destinies. Imagine a community that establishes its own local food system, renewable energy grid, and educational programs. This community would be far more resilient to external shocks and less susceptible to the control of centralized power structures. Decentralized technologies, such as blockchain and cryptocurrencies, also have the potential to disrupt the established financial system and create a more equitable and transparent economy. Transparency and accountability are essential for holding power structures accountable for their actions. Whistleblowers play a crucial role in exposing corruption and wrongdoing, but they often face retaliation and persecution. Protecting whistleblowers and creating mechanisms for transparency can help to prevent abuse of power and promote a more just and equitable society. Now, let's explore advanced techniques for reclaiming your mind from mental imprisonment and breaking free from the programming of the time loop. How can we reprogram our limiting beliefs and thought patterns? Neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and cognitive reframing are powerful tools for reshaping your inner landscape. NLP involves identifying and changing the unconscious patterns of thought, language, and behavior that are holding you back. Cognitive reframing involves challenging and changing your negative thought patterns, replacing them with more positive and empowering ones. Imagine someone who constantly tells themselves, "I am not good enough." Using cognitive reframing, they can challenge this belief by asking themselves, "Is this belief really true? What evidence do I have to support it? What are the consequences of holding on to this belief?" Then, they can replace it with a more positive and empowering belief, such as, "I am capable of learning and growing. I am worthy of love and success." Meditation, mindfulness, and other spiritual practices can also be incredibly effective for cultivating inner peace, clarity, and resilience. These practices allow you to quiet the chatter of your mind, connect with your inner wisdom, and develop a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. A simple mindfulness exercise, for example, involves focusing your attention on your breath, observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, and returning to the present moment whenever your mind wanders. This practice can help you to develop greater self-awareness and emotional regulation, allowing you to respond to challenges with more calm and clarity. This is a learned skill. Do not be frustrated if your mind wanders. Self-love, self-compassion, and self-acceptance are also essential elements for healing from trauma and breaking free from the victim mentality. This means treating yourself with kindness, compassion, and respect, even when you make mistakes or fall short of your own expectations. It means accepting yourself, flaws and all, and knowing that you are worthy of love, happiness, and success. Share your own stories. Let others know that you are fighting the same fight as them. Let's now dive into quantum activation, the process of aligning your energy field with a higher frequency timeline. How does this relate to the end-of-month catalyst? Quantum entanglement and resonance are scientific principles that suggest our thoughts, emotions, and intentions can influence reality at a fundamental level. Quantum entanglement occurs when two particles become linked in such a way that they share the same fate, regardless of the distance between them. Resonance occurs when two systems vibrate at the same frequency, causing them to amplify each other's energy. These principles suggest that our thoughts and emotions can create energetic patterns that resonate with specific timelines, attracting the circumstances and experiences that align with those patterns. If you are a generally negative person, you will find more negative outcomes. Similarly, a positive person attracts positive events. Quantum jumping and reality transurfing are advanced manifestation techniques that involve consciously shifting to a desired timeline. Quantum jumping involves visualizing yourself in your desired reality and then making a quantum leap to that reality, leaving your old reality behind. Reality transurfing involves navigating the space of variations, a multi-dimensional field of possibilities, and choosing the timeline that aligns with your soul purpose. These aren't just New Age practices, but active steps to make quantum change. These require intention, hard work, and unwavering beliefs. Gratitude, forgiveness, and service to others are also key elements for attracting positive outcomes and aligning with a higher timeline. Gratitude amplifies positive energy, forgiveness releases negative energy, and service to others aligns you with the greater good. Intentionally removing negative elements is as important as building positive energy. Remember, the end of month catalyst is not just about personal transformation. It's about contributing to a larger shift in collective consciousness and the creation of a new Earth. Why is this catalyst so important now? Various prophecies and spiritual teachings speak of a coming age of enlightenment and harmony, a time when humanity will awaken to its true potential and create a more just and sustainable world. The end-of-month catalyst can be seen as a trigger for this awakening, a moment when enough individuals have raised their consciousness to create a critical mass of positive energy that can shift the entire planet. Many indigenous cultures speak of this coming shift, noting that we are in a time of transition. Unity, collaboration, and co-creation are key principles for building a better future for all. We must move beyond our individual agendas and work together towards shared goals, recognizing that we are all interconnected and that our actions have a ripple effect on the entire planet. Intentional communities, collaborative projects, and global initiatives are all examples of how we can work together to create a more sustainable and equitable world. Collaboration toward a shared goal is far more efficient than division. But what about those who seek to maintain the status quo? How do we counter the agenda of the controllers and undermine their ability to maintain control over the time loop? We can disrupt their agenda by boycotting corporations that engage in unethical practices, supporting alternative media outlets, and participating in peaceful protests and activism. These actions send a clear message that we will not tolerate corruption, greed, and abuse of power. We must actively resist by choosing not to participate. This is a form of financial disruption. Creating parallel systems and decentralized networks that operate outside of the control of the established power structures is also essential. This can include using cryptocurrencies, open-source software, and community-owned businesses. These systems empower individuals and communities to take control of their own lives and destinies, reducing their dependence on centralized institutions. They can provide a new path forward. Becoming whistleblowers and truth-tellers is also a powerful way to expose corruption and wrongdoing. By sharing our knowledge and experiences with the world, we can help to awaken others to the truth and inspire them to take action. This must be done responsibly and ethically, focusing on verifiable facts and avoiding fear-mongering or misinformation. It is important that we act responsibly. Finally, let's address the potential challenges and uncertainties that may arise as the time loop begins to unravel and the old paradigm crumbles. What should we expect? Economic instability, social unrest, and environmental disasters are all possibilities as the old system breaks down. It's important to prepare for these events on a practical and emotional level, developing resilience, adaptability, and inner strength to navigate these turbulent times. Make sure you are safe and secure. Embrace the unknown with courage, faith, and trust, knowing that you are co-creating a brighter future for yourself and for all of humanity. Focus on hope, not fear. And remember, resilience is key. This isn't the end, but rather the beginning of the next chapter. Let's take that quantum leap now. How does quantum entanglement truly tie us together, and how does that make the catalyst even more significant? Quantum entanglement isn't just a physics phenomenon, it's a profound statement about the interconnectedness of reality. Imagine two entangled particles, separated by vast distances, yet instantaneously affecting each other's state. Now, scale that up. Consider every thought, Every action, every belief you hold as a particle entangled with the collective consciousness of humanity. This means that your personal journey of awakening isn't just a solo mission. It's a vital contribution to the evolution of the entire planet. This interconnectedness highlights that what you do matters and ripples outward, influencing the timeline for everyone. The end-of-the-month catalyst, therefore, isn't some arbitrary deadline, but rather a focal point where the collective energy is primed for a significant shift, a quantum leap in consciousness. It's a window of opportunity where individual actions can have a magnified impact. Understanding this entanglement dissolves the illusion of separation, a key tool used by the controllers to keep us divided and compliant. Think of a spider web. Each strand seems individual, but pull on one and the entire web vibrates. Similarly, your actions resonate throughout the global network of consciousness. When you heal your own wounds, you contribute to the healing of the collective. When you embrace love and compassion, you weaken the grip of fear and control. You are not an isolated being, but a vital thread in the tapestry of reality. The power to shift the timeline lies not just in individual enlightenment, but also in conscious alignment with the greater good. How do we actively align with the collective good and amplify our positive impact? Loving kindness meditation offers a potent practice. Take a moment to visualize sending waves of compassion to all beings, including those you perceive as controllers. This doesn't condone their actions, but it acknowledges their humanity and recognizes that they too are trapped in a cycle of suffering. By extending love and compassion, you dissolve the energetic barriers that perpetuate the time loop, contributing to the coherence of the global consciousness field. Furthermore, actively engaging in acts of service, however small, strengthens this alignment. Volunteer in your community, support ethical businesses, and speak out against injustice. Every act of kindness, every conscious choice, creates a ripple effect, contributing to a positive shift in the timeline and bringing that catalyst closer to our grasp. But what if time itself is an illusion? How does challenging our linear perception unlock greater freedom? Our conventional understanding of time as a linear progression past, present, and future is a construct that limits our potential. Picture time as a river flowing in one direction. This model imprisons us in a sense of cause and effect, where the past dictates the present and the future is predetermined. However, quantum physics suggests a different picture. Block time, where all moments exist simultaneously. Imagine all of time is a book. We're just reading it one page at a time. The past, present, and future are interconnected, influencing each other in a dynamic dance. The time loop, then, isn't a literal loop, but a consequence of our limited perception, a self-imposed prison built on the illusion of linearity. The concept of the time loop exists because our perception limits us. By transcending our mental constraints, we can break free of this illusory prison. Reflect on this. What if the future isn't a fixed destination, but a field of infinite possibilities, shaped by our choices in the present? The end-of-the-month catalyst becomes less of a predestined event and more of a moment of heightened potential, where we can consciously choose to align with a more desirable timeline. The goal isn't to predict the future, but to co-create it. The freedom to jump timelines, to end the loop, lies in the conscious choices we make right now. Accessing nonlinear states of consciousness allows us to glimpse the interconnectedness of all moments and realize our potential to shift timelines. Consider a record player skipping on a scratch, endlessly repeating a section of the song. By lifting the needle, we allow the music to progress. Practices like holotropic breathwork or past life regression act as ways to lift the needle, granting access to expanded states of awareness. These methods may not be literally true, but they can guide to a more open state of mind. By venturing beyond the confines of linear time, we gain access to the vast, interconnected web of possibilities and recognize our power to choose a different song, a different reality. The more you explore, the more you begin to see the true freedom you always had. And what about these other realities? What if accessing multi-dimensional realities holds the key to truly breaking free? Our everyday reality is but one slice of a much larger multi-dimensional pie. Imagine a radio receiver tuned to a single frequency. Countless other frequencies, each carrying its own signal, are present in the airwaves, yet we only perceive the one we're tuned into. Similarly, our consciousness is currently attuned to the third dimension, a reality of length, width, and height, limited by linear time and the illusion of separation. But what if we could expand our awareness and tune into other dimensions, realities that exist simultaneously with our own, each with its unique set of possibilities and experiences? What if the KGB files came from one? The controllers actively suppress our access to these other dimensions, keeping us trapped in a low-vibrational reality and the linear timeline. How do they do it? Through societal programming, fear-based narratives, and the constant bombardment of sensory input that keeps our minds locked in the mundane. These create energetic barriers, preventing us from accessing higher dimensions and realizing our full potential. The controllers aren't necessarily external entities, but the systems and patterns we've let rule our lives. That catalyst at the end of the month is a chance to change that. Raising our vibration and expanding our consciousness is essential for accessing multi-dimensional realities and shifting to a higher timeline. Consider the power of techniques like energy healing, sound therapy, and sacred geometry, practices that are said to raise our vibrational frequency and harmonize our energy field. By engaging in these practices, we can dissolve the energetic barriers that keep us trapped and open ourselves to new possibilities. As your vibration rises, as you begin to see the truth, you'll find yourself on a different frequency, a new timeline, a reality where the controllers have no power. This shift is the true power behind the end of month catalyst, a doorway to a new reality. What role does the mirror of reality play, and how can we use it to change our world? Our outer reality serves as a mirror, reflecting our inner state of consciousness. If you don't like what's going on in your life, then you need to make a change internally. Our beliefs, emotions, and thought patterns act as a blueprint, attracting experiences that align with that blueprint into our lives. So why are the KGB files relevant to this mirror? They point to the lies we've been told, the beliefs we've unconsciously adopted, and the emotional wounds we've yet to heal. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward changing them. The external world simply reflects what we hold within. Taking responsibility for our projections is crucial for consciously co-creating our reality. A useful exercise is to examine your recurring patterns and ask yourself, what beliefs or emotions are creating these experiences? For instance, if you consistently attract toxic relationships, explore your beliefs about love, worthiness, and boundaries. What unmet needs or unresolved traumas might be driving these patterns? By taking ownership of your projections, you can begin to rewrite your inner blueprint and attract more fulfilling experiences. Recognize that the KGB files might not hold external secrets, but rather guide you inward, revealing the hidden corners of your own psyche. Transforming negative projections into positive ones is a potent technique for creating a more empowering reality. Shadow work, for example, involves acknowledging and integrating the disowned aspects of ourselves, the parts we judge, fear, or suppress. By embracing these shadow qualities, we reclaim our wholeness and unlock hidden potential. Use the end of month catalyst as an opportunity to intentionally focus on positive outcomes, visualize your desired reality, and affirm your power to create a fulfilling life. The more you align your inner world with your desired outer world, the more rapidly your reality will begin to shift. This is where conscious creation begins. What about the unknown? How does surrendering to the void unlock infinite potential? Beyond all form and limitation lies the void, a space of infinite potential. The KGB files, in their fragmented and often contradictory nature, ultimately point to this void, suggesting that ultimate truth lies not in external knowledge, but in surrendering to the unknown. The void is the quantum field where all possibilities exist as probabilities, until they are observed and collapsed into form. To access this potential, we must be willing to step beyond our comfort zone, release our attachment to specific outcomes, and embrace the uncertainty of the present moment. Surrendering to the void is the ultimate act of trust, allowing us to embrace the flow of the universe. Think about it. Control is an illusion. We try to control every aspect of our lives, clinging to our plans and expectations, but ultimately, life has its own course. By releasing our grip and surrendering to a higher power, we open ourselves to unexpected blessings and opportunities. Consider stories of individuals who experienced profound breakthroughs by letting go of control and trusting the universe. These aren't just stories, they are the truth about the potential of letting go. Cultivating trust and surrender requires consistent practice. Meditation helps to quiet the mind and connect with our inner source of wisdom. Prayer allows us to express our desires and surrender our will to a higher power. Spending time in nature reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things and the natural flow of life. Mindfulness practices, like letting go of thoughts and emotions without judgment, teach us to be present in the moment and trust the unfolding of reality. As you embrace the void, you tap into a source of infinite potential, unlocking new possibilities for your life and contributing to the creation of a brighter future. If we can unlock that future, then how do we counter the controllers, and what is their weakness? The controllers aren't all-powerful beings, but rather entities trapped in their own limited consciousness, driven by fear and a need for control. They aren't inherently evil, but are simply playing a role in the cosmic drama. Their actions, however misguided, are ultimately serving a higher purpose, to challenge us to awaken, to reclaim our power, and to create a more conscious reality. In understanding their role, we may find the files were placed for us to find our way. Love and compassion are the controllers' greatest weakness, dissolving their power and exposing their vulnerability. When we respond to their actions with fear and anger, we reinforce their control. But when we respond with love, understanding, and forgiveness, we disrupt their agenda and create ripples of positive change. Cultivating love and compassion for ourselves and for all beings, including the controllers, is essential for dismantling their power. When we see them not as enemies, but as wounded souls seeking control out of fear, we can begin to dissolve the energetic cords that bind us to their agenda. Consider those stories of individuals who transformed their enemies through love and understanding. What if the files show that the only way to win is to show compassion and love for those who are controlling the timelines? This challenges the paradigm of fear and control, creating space for a more conscious and compassionate world to emerge. It all starts with you. So what does the future look like? And how can we create a better world? Humanity has the potential to create a new Earth, a world of peace, harmony, abundance, and freedom for all. Use utopian imagery and scenarios to illustrate the possibilities of a world where humanity has awakened to its true potential. Imagine a world where resources are shared equitably, where technology serves humanity rather than enslaving it, and where everyone has the opportunity to live a fulfilling and meaningful life. The end-of-month catalyst isn't some magic event, but rather a collective choice, a moment where we decide whether to continue down the path of division and destruction or to consciously create a new Earth. Collaboration, co-creation, and conscious leadership are essential for building this new Earth. Highlight successful examples of collaborative communities, sustainable projects, and innovative solutions that are creating a more equitable and harmonious world. Focus on the power of collective intention, shared resources, and collaborative action to create a more sustainable and thriving planet. This is where those KGB files can really show their worth. Become an active participant in the creation of this new Earth. Live your values, share your gifts, and inspire others to awaken. Focus on making conscious choices that align with your vision for a better world. Support ethical businesses, engage in community activism, and speak out against injustice. The end-of-month catalyst is a call to action, an invitation to step into your role as a conscious creator and co-create a world that reflects your highest aspirations. That is what those KGB files have been trying to tell us all along. So, if love and compassion are the controller's weakness, then how do they maintain their grip, and what tools do they use to manipulate not just information, but our very experience of reality? It goes far deeper than just what we see on the surface. The controllers understand that to maintain their influence, they need to manipulate not just information, but the very frequency and vibration of the planet and its inhabitants. Think of it like tuning a radio. You can't hear a station if you're not on the right frequency. Similarly, they subtly or not so subtly adjust the frequency of our environment to keep us from tuning into higher states of consciousness. Consider the concept of scalar waves, longitudinal waves that exist outside of the conventional electromagnetic spectrum. While still debated by mainstream science, some researchers suggest they can influence consciousness and even manipulate matter itself. Even mainstream sources, like defense and technology publications, discuss the potential uses of scalar wave technology, albeit often in the context of communications or energy weapons. This isn't about confirming scalar waves are definitely used for manipulation, but more about opening the mind to how unseen energies might influence us. Technologies like 5G and HAARP, High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, become relevant here, not as definitively proven weapons, but as potential tools for suppressing consciousness and maintaining the time loop. The concern isn't about scaremongering with definitive evidence, but about raising awareness of the potential impacts of these technologies on our well-being. For example, some studies, though often contested, suggest that the frequencies emitted by 5G networks could disrupt our natural biological rhythms and create emotional instability. Similarly, HAARP, while officially used for research on the ionosphere, has sparked concerns about its potential to manipulate whether patterns or even influence human thought through electromagnetic waves, even if only theoretically. Whether or not these concerns are fully realized, they point to the possibility of unseen influences impacting our consciousness. But in the end, if the files came to you, how could they be used to manipulate your timeline for good? The controllers also understand the power of our emotional states. Negative emotions like fear, anger, and greed, as you might guess, lower our vibration and make us more susceptible to manipulation. When we're stressed or afraid, our brain function changes. Stress hormones like cortisol flood our system, impairing our decision-making abilities and making us more likely to react impulsively. Think about it. Fear-based media relies on this very mechanism. By constantly bombarding us with alarming news and narratives, they keep us in a state of heightened anxiety, making us more easily influenced and controlled. If they can get us to focus on the negative, the individual has given in to the negative timeline. But what happens when we take our power back? If manipulation mechanics are the problem, then what's the solution? How do we transcend this manipulation and reclaim our freedom? It starts with individual frequency activation. Frequency activation is the process of consciously raising your own vibration to transcend the influence of the controllers and their time loop. It's about tuning into a different station, one that resonates with your highest potential and aligns you with a more empowering reality. It is the opposite of what the controllers want, as you would then enter a timeline where they do not exist. This may sound esoteric, but it has practical applications. Practices like chanting, tunning, and sound healing can be used to resonate with higher frequencies and activate dormant DNA. Think of Tibetan singing bowls, for instance. Their complex tones create a vibrational field that can promote relaxation, reduce stress, and even stimulate healing. Some theories even suggest that specific sound frequencies can activate certain genes associated with enhanced cognitive function and spiritual awareness. This is not about blindly believing in magical sounds, but more about recognizing the power of vibration to influence our physical and energetic bodies. Clearing negative energy blockages is equally important. Techniques like emotional freedom technique, EFT, Reiki, and other forms of energy healing can help release trapped emotions and restore the flow of energy throughout your body. EFT, for instance, involves tapping on specific acupressure points while focusing on a negative emotion or thought. This sends signals to the brain that calm the nervous system and allow you to process the emotion without feeling overwhelmed. To perform a simple EFT sequence for anxiety, start by identifying what you're feeling anxious about. Rate the intensity of your anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10. Then, tap on the side of your hand while repeating 3 times. Even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Next, tap on the following points while repeating a short phrase related to your anxiety: eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm. Finally, take a deep breath and reevaluate your anxiety level. Repeat the sequence as needed until the intensity decreases. Creating a vibrational sanctuary is also key, a physical and energetic space that supports your highest potential. This could be in your home, and what the controllers would see as a threat to the timeline that they want. Decluttering your home, incorporating natural elements like plants and crystals, and using essential oils can all contribute to a positive and uplifting environment. Think about your bedroom. Is it a sanctuary of peace and rest, or a cluttered space filled with distractions? By intentionally curating your environment, you create a space that nourishes your soul and supports your journey of transformation. The more safe spaces that exist for you, the more that timeline grows. With these tips in mind, what does this have to do with the end of the month? What timeline shift is coming, and what will it look like? The answer may surprise you as it challenges linear thought. The end of the month is not a fixed event in a linear timeline, but a portal to a higher dimensional reality that is accessible in the present moment. Forget what you think you know about time and what you assume about the end of the month deadline. It's about now. Relate this to the concept of the eternal now in various spiritual traditions, emphasizing that all possibilities exist in the present moment. Ancient philosophies speak of the eternal now, emphasizing that the past and future are merely constructs of the mind. The present moment is all that truly exists, and it's in this moment that we have the power to create our reality. This explains why we can't be sure when something will happen. The timeline changes with choices. Timeline jumping isn't about escaping to a different future, but about fully embodying your highest potential in the present moment. The quality of your thoughts, feelings, and actions in the present moment determines the trajectory of your timeline. Consider your current relationships. Are you showing up as your best self, communicating with honesty and compassion, or are you holding back, driven by fear and insecurity? Each interaction is a choice point, a moment where you can either reinforce old patterns or create a new, more fulfilling reality. And the KGB files, well, they gave you a chance to make that change. Practices for cultivating presence and mindfulness become essential here. Meditation, breathwork, and sensory awareness help anchor you in the present moment and connect with your inner wisdom. Imagine yourself sitting in meditation, focusing on your breath. As thoughts arise, you simply observe them without judgment, allowing them to pass like clouds in the sky. With each breath, you become more grounded, more centered, and more connected to the stillness within. As you cultivate this presence, you gain access to a deeper level of awareness, where you can access guidance and inspiration from your higher self. But what is our goal in all this? The individual is the catalyst for the shift in collective consciousness, and your personal transformation is essential for creating a new earth. Think of the butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps its wings in Brazil and causes a tornado in Texas. Similarly, your individual choices and actions have a ripple effect, influencing the entire collective. That's you. Fully embody your highest potential by living your values, expressing your creativity, and serving others with love and compassion before the end of the month. What are your unique gifts and talents? What makes your heart sing? Find ways to express your creativity, whether through art, music, writing, or simply engaging in activities that bring you joy. Share your gifts with the world and inspire others to do the same. In all, this creates the timeline. Individual choice and intention shape the collective timeline and create a more empowered and fulfilling future for all, influencing the shift. Each conscious choice you make, each act of kindness you perform, contributes to the collective vibration. It's about setting an intention to live in alignment with your highest values and making choices that support that intention. However, it's critical to ask ourselves, what happens if we fail? What are the potential consequences of remaining unconscious and continuing to perpetuate the time loop? The stakes are higher than ever. Remaining unconscious carries significant risks. Envision societal collapse, environmental devastation, and technological enslavement to illustrate the potential outcomes of inaction. Resources dwindle, governments control, the environment is gone. These aren't meant to create fear, but just to show the potential. It is, however, a possible timeline. The controllers are actively working to keep humanity trapped in this state of unconsciousness, and their tactics are becoming increasingly sophisticated. They are not necessarily external entities, but the systems and patterns we've let rule our lives. The rise of artificial intelligence, transhumanism, and other technologies could further control and manipulate human behavior, solidifying the time loop. This isn't about demonizing technology, but recognizing its potential for misuse and taking steps to ensure it serves humanity rather than enslaving it. Soul fragmentation comes into play. The loss of connection to one's true self as a result of trauma, programming, and negative experiences. Trauma, abuse, and societal conditioning can create deep wounds in the psyche, leading to feelings of emptiness, disconnection, and a lack of purpose. These fragments get further and further away from what they should be. The end of the month, then, is less the end, but the beginning. Is there another option? Is there another path we can follow? Yes, there is, and the KGB files are relevant to it as well. It's about cultivating heart-centered coherence. Heart-centered coherence is the alignment of the heart, brain, and emotions in a state of love, gratitude, and compassion. When these three aspects of ourselves are in harmony, we experience a sense of inner peace, clarity, and well-being. The scientific findings of the HeartMath Institute demonstrate the powerful effects of heart coherence on brain function and overall well-being. When the heart is coherent, it sends signals to the brain that promote clarity, focus, and emotional stability. The KGB files provided this now. Cultivating heart coherence involves practices like gratitude journaling, loving-kindness meditation, and spending time in nature. Gratitude shifts focus to the positive aspects of life. Meditation silences the mind. Nature allows you to connect with your soul. All of these build your path. To connect with your heart's intelligence, cultivate feelings of love and gratitude. Close your eyes, focus on your heart center, and imagine yourself surrounded by a warm, loving light. As you breathe, allow feelings of gratitude to fill your heart, expanding outward to encompass all beings. Heart-centered coherence unlocks your full potential, manifests a positive future, and co-creates a new earth, stressing intention, but distressing the end-of-the-month aspect. By aligning with your soul's purpose, you will then create a new timeline. Heart-centered coherence isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a doorway to a different dimension of reality. A reality where your intentions manifest with greater ease and your connection to your higher self becomes undeniable. But how do we move beyond the scientific understanding of the HeartMath Institute and delve into the quantum physics behind this heart-centered intelligence? The answer lies in understanding the role of the heart's electromagnetic field. This field, far more powerful than the brain's, interacts with the quantum field, the very fabric of reality. Think of it as a tuning fork. When your heart is in a coherent state, it emits a clear, strong signal into the quantum field, influencing probability waves and attracting synchronicities that align with your intentions. This isn't just wishful thinking. Quantum physics suggests that observation influences reality. Your heart, as the most powerful observer within your being, has the capacity to shape your experience in profound ways. This means that by cultivating heart coherence, you're not just feeling good, you're actively influencing the probabilities in your favor, navigating the timelines with greater intention, and accessing information from those KGB archives of ancient wisdom. How do we cultivate this state of being? Gratitude is a potent tool. Take a moment each day to list the things you're grateful for, focusing on the positive emotions they evoke. Compassion, both for yourself and others, is another key. Send loving kindness to those who are suffering, visualizing them surrounded by light and healing energy. Joy and appreciation amplify this effect. Find beauty in the everyday moments, savor the simple pleasures, and appreciate the abundance that already exists in your life. Connect these practices to the KGB archives of ancient wisdom, viewing them not as mere feel-good exercises, but as powerful esoteric techniques for manipulating reality. As an example, try this heart-focused breathing technique. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and focus your attention on your heart. Breathe in slowly and deeply, imagining that you're breathing in through your heart center. As you exhale, imagine that you're breathing out through your heart, sending love and compassion to yourself and the world. Repeat this for 510 minutes, noticing the shift in your emotional state. With practice, this technique activates the vagus nerve, the major nerve connecting the heart and brain, promoting emotional regulation and enhancing heart coherence. So, with the heart as a cognitive tool, how can we fix the past? Our perception of the past isn't set in stone. It's a fluid, ever-changing narrative that we can consciously rewrite. This isn't about denying or erasing what happened, but about liberating ourselves from the grip of past traumas and reshaping their influence on our present and future. How can conscious intention and emotional healing alter our memories and allow us to move forward? Think of your memories not as fixed recordings, but as malleable constructs, like clay that can be reshaped with intention. Every time you recall a memory, you're not simply retrieving it, you're actively reconstructing it. This means that you have the power to reframe past experiences, releasing the negative charge and integrating them into a more empowering narrative. This ability to rewrite the past, which may be alluded to within the KGB archive, is paramount to achieving personal liberation. For example, memory reconsolidation, a process where reactivating a memory makes it susceptible to change, offers a scientific basis for this concept. By consciously revisiting a painful memory with new understanding and compassion, you can alter its emotional impact and shift its associated beliefs. There are many techniques to achieve this. One such technique is inner child work. Connect with your younger self, the part of you that experienced the trauma, and offer them the love, compassion, and validation they didn't receive at the time. Visualize yourself as a loving parent, holding your inner child in your arms, reassuring them that they are safe, loved, and worthy. Shadow work, the process of integrating the disowned parts of yourself, can also be incredibly powerful. Identify the negative traits or beliefs that you judge in others and explore how they might be present within yourself. By embracing your shadow side, you can reclaim your wholeness and release the self-judgment that keeps you trapped in the past. For example, try this guided meditation for connecting with your inner child. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, allowing your body to relax. Visualize yourself as a child standing before you. Notice their appearance, their emotions, and their body language. Gently approach your inner child, offering them a warm smile and open arms. Let them know that you are there for them, that you love them unconditionally, and that you will always protect them. Spend some time with your inner child, listening to their stories, playing with them, and offering them comfort and reassurance. When you feel ready, thank your inner child for their presence and gently release them. Take a few more deep breaths and open your eyes. However, as we rewrite our past, we must address the broader cycle. Is it possible that there is an intentional element to the past? Instead of viewing the time loop as a prison, we can reframe it as a cosmic learning program designed to help us evolve and awaken to our true potential. The information gleaned from the KGB archives can be used to guide us through this learning process. Each challenge and obstacle we encounter within the loop isn't a random occurrence, but a carefully crafted lesson designed to help us grow, develop new skills, and shift our perspectives. Think of it as a virtual reality game. Each level presents new challenges that require you to master new skills and overcome limiting beliefs. The time loop is similar, but it's designed to help you awaken to your true potential and become a conscious co-creator of your reality. What if karma is a key part of the loop? Karma is not a system of punishment, but a system of cause and effect designed to help us learn from our mistakes and create more positive outcomes. Every action, thought, and intention creates a ripple effect, shaping our future experiences. By taking responsibility for our actions, making amends for past wrongs, and choosing to act with kindness and compassion, we can create a more positive karmic trajectory. For instance, if you've harmed someone in the past, reach out to them, apologize for your actions, and offer to make amends. This simple act can break the cycle of negativity and create a more positive outcome for both of you. This helps rewrite timelines and helps us to escape. But to what end? The ultimate goal isn't to escape the loop entirely, but to master it. It's about becoming conscious co-creators of our reality and living in alignment with our soul's purpose. Think of enlightenment not as a destination, but as a continuous journey of learning, growth, and self-discovery. The more that is learned, the more is revealed. What tools can we use to navigate these discoveries? Navigating this shift requires resilience, adaptability, and a willingness to embrace change. The KGB archives may hold clues, but the real power lies within ourselves. How can we best prepare for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead? Developing resilience is key. Cultivate self-care practices, such as exercise, healthy eating, and spending time in nature to nourish your body, mind, and spirit. Build strong social connections with supportive friends and family members who can provide emotional support during challenging times. Learn to adapt to change by embracing new ideas, experimenting with new approaches, and cultivating a growth mindset. Emotional intelligence is also essential. Develop your ability to understand and manage your own emotions, as well as to empathize with and connect with others. Improve your communication skills by actively listening, expressing your needs clearly, and resolving conflicts peacefully. Set healthy boundaries by saying no to requests that drain your energy and prioritizing your own well-being. Consider that your health has more impact on reality than others. What comes next? Staying grounded, centered, and connected to your inner wisdom is paramount. During times of uncertainty and upheaval, it's easy to get swept away by fear, anxiety, and confusion. Practice grounding techniques, such as spending time in nature, walking barefoot on the earth, or visualizing roots extending from your feet into the ground. Cultivate mindfulness by focusing on your breath, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, and staying present in the moment. Connect with your inner guidance system by spending time in meditation, journaling, or engaging in activities that bring you joy. Remember that you are not alone and that you have the inner resources to navigate any challenge. One way to ground yourself is through meditation. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, allowing your body to relax. Visualize yourself standing barefoot on the earth, feeling the connection to the ground beneath you. Imagine roots extending from your feet, reaching deep into the earth, anchoring you in the present moment. As you breathe, allow any tension or anxiety to flow out of your body, down through your roots and into the earth. Feel yourself becoming more grounded, centered, and stable. When you feel ready, thank the earth for its support and gently release the visualization. Take a few more deep breaths and open your eyes. With all of this in mind, how can we be certain that it is truly worthwhile? Forgiveness is a potent tool for breaking free from the time loop and creating a more positive future. It's a theme that resonates throughout the KGB archives and across various spiritual traditions. How does it help us build? Resentment and bitterness create energetic blockages that keep us trapped in the past, preventing us from moving forward and clouding our judgment. By consciously choosing to release resentment and embrace compassion, we free ourselves from the burden of negative emotions and open ourselves to new possibilities. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but about freeing ourselves from the burden of anger and resentment. Practice radical forgiveness. Acknowledge the pain that you've experienced, allowing yourself to feel the emotions without judgment. Release the blame by recognizing that everyone is doing the best they can with the resources they have available. Find the lesson in the experience, recognizing that even the most painful events can offer opportunities for growth and transformation. To practice, try this exercise. Write a letter to the person you need to forgive, expressing your feelings without judgment or blame. Then, write a letter to yourself, offering compassion, understanding, and validation. Finally, burn both letters as a symbolic act of releasing the past and embracing a more positive future. By shifting the perspective and timeline, we can claim back what is ours. How can we act in that freedom? Reclaiming your sovereignty means recognizing that you are not a victim of fate, but a powerful being with the ability to shape your own destiny. While the KGB archives might allude to hidden forces, your power transcends them. How can we act accordingly, with the knowledge that the end-of-month date looms? Set clear intentions for what you want to create in your life, aligning them with your values and your soul's purpose. Take inspired action, trusting that the universe will support you in your efforts. Listen to your intuition, following the guidance of your inner wisdom. Conscious leadership involves leading by example, inspiring others to awaken, and creating a more positive world. Share your gifts, talents, and unique perspectives with the world, empowering others to reclaim their own power. Collaborate with like-minded individuals to create positive change in your communities and beyond. Remember that we are all interconnected, and that our individual actions have a ripple effect on the entire collective. What can we do to ensure that our actions have a positive ripple? Embodying love, compassion, and authenticity creates a ripple effect of positive change in the world. How can we act in such a way that the controller agenda is disrupted and that the end-of-month timeline shift is made for good? Remember, this disruption will be within yourself, not necessarily with external forces. Small acts of kindness, forgiveness, and understanding can disrupt the controller's agenda and create ripples of positive change throughout the collective consciousness. Share your unique gifts and talents with the world, inspiring others to awaken and reclaim their own power. Support collaborative projects, intentional communities, and global initiatives that are working towards a more sustainable and equitable world. Even seemingly small acts of love and compassion can have a profound impact on the collective consciousness and contribute to the creation of a new Earth. Hold a door open for a stranger, offer a helping hand to someone in need, or simply smile at a passerby. These simple acts can brighten someone's day and create a ripple effect of positivity. So, are we ready for the month's end? What steps must we take to be prepared? So, are you ready to step into your power, to recognize the patterns, and to rewrite your reality? The journey we've embarked on together has led us from the initial awareness of the time loop and the subtle manipulations of society to the profound realization that the KGB archives are not just dusty documents, but a metaphor for the inner wisdom and suppressed potential residing within each of us. Societal programming may be pervasive, but your ability to recognize and reject it is now exponentially amplified. We've explored repeating cycles in your personal life, observed trends playing out on the world stage, and analyzed the grand sweep of history, culminating in an understanding of their interconnectedness and their shared origins. You now possess the ability to identify and step out of detrimental patterns as they begin to manifest, disrupting their hold on your life and shaping a future free from repetition. The power to break free from the time loop isn't about a literal escape. It's about transcendence through conscious awareness, intentional action, and the activation of your heart-centered intelligence. You are not a victim trapped within the loop. You are a powerful agent, capable of rewriting your reality, one conscious choice at a time. This journey of self-discovery and empowerment is ongoing, a continuous expansion of consciousness. But this personal journey doesn't exist in a vacuum. Your individual liberation from the time loop is intimately connected to the potential for a global shift in awareness, a transformation that ripples outward, touching every corner of existence. You are responsible for inspiring others to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery by embodying the lessons you've learned, radiating the transformative power to all those around you. Breaking free from limiting cycles not only benefits you, but contributes to a more constructive and harmonious world for all. The actions you take today directly influence future generations and the very fabric of reality, transforming linear time into an infinite spiral of potential. Consider that a critical mass of awakened individuals can disrupt the agendas of those who seek to control and manipulate, creating a groundswell of change that collapses the existing timelines of fear and limitation. The potential for a new Earth is not a utopian fantasy, but a tangible possibility that is being co-created in the present moment, with every conscious choice, every act of kindness, and every expression of love. This understanding transforms the self-help theme into something far grander. A call to collective thriving, emphasizing the importance of collaboration, co-creation, and conscious leadership. We've reached the end of the beginning, a pivotal moment where we address the initial questions about free will, reality, and identity, offering a framework for continued exploration and self-discovery. This video is not the end, but a stepping stone. Know that you have the ability to consciously choose your timelines, shaping your personal reality and contributing to the larger shift in consciousness. The KGB archives are now revealed to be tools and guides for navigating reality, reclaiming your inherent power, and creating a more fulfilling and purposeful life. The door remains open for you to delve deeper into specific aspects of these archives: meditation, visualization, shadow work, continuing your journey of self-mastery. The end of the month is not a doomsday event, but a catalyst, a trigger designed to initiate the actions we've been exploring together. The timeline shift is not a sudden cataclysm, but a gradual unfolding that is influenced by your individual choices and intentions, moment by moment. The real power of this information lies in the choices you make in each now moment. And now, new doors are opening, beckoning you towards further exploration and deeper understanding. Consider exploring advanced meditation techniques, delving into the mysteries of quantum physics, or uncovering alternative narratives of history. Now that you know the truth, what will you do with it? It's crucial to take concrete actions in the world, to become active participants in shaping a more constructive future. Share your knowledge, create art that inspires, support conscious businesses, and engage in activism that promotes justice and compassion. Move beyond passive consumption of information and become a force for positive change. Foster a sense of community and connection by sharing your experiences, asking questions, and supporting one another on your journeys. Seek out online forums, social media groups, or local meetups where you can connect with like-minded individuals. Remember, you are not alone. There is strength in numbers. And as we close this chapter, know that this is just the beginning. Stay tuned for our upcoming videos, where we'll be diving deeper into specific aspects of the time loop, unlocking more secrets from the KGB archives, and exploring the possibilities of creating a new Earth. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep creating a world that reflects the highest vision of your